Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello and welcome to episode 126 of the Film Blurs. I'm Jeff Stewart, aka Uncle Jeffrey, aka J.O.T. Dynamite, aka Praetorian Jeff, aka Revengeman Button. He who remains, Petty Ruxpin, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, this motherfucker, to be determined, Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg. And I'm joined here, as always, with my friend and co-host.
Hi, my name is Brandon Norwood, a.k.a. Hero Protagonist, a.k.a. the true father of Joe and Kanye's kids, and Drake's kids, a.k.a. Poppy Chua, a.k.a. the Glizzy King, a.k.a. Mr. Krusty, a.k.a. the Lethal Protector, a.k.a. Ezekiel Sims, bad ADR, words don't match my mouth, a.k.a. it's Morbin time, a.k.a. my biggest pet peeve is sports because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other, a.k.a. I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back giving shape-ups, a.k.a. Rough McGruff, a.k.a. D's Nuts, and a.k.a. B-Wood, the Ma-Deeb. Call me your messiah. There's mad news since we've been away, and I just haven't gotten a chance to compile it all. And you know what, man? We'll pick and choose next time. But the one thing I do want to talk about is Paramount and Skydance have reached a deal, and now David Ellison will be CEO of Paramount Pictures. And look, Paramount was already in bad shape, but like that is terrible news.
Yeah, no, that is bad for film. That is horrible for film. That is horrible for all of your favorite IPs that are coming out of Paramount. So that's Star Trek. That's Mission Impossible. What else they got going on over there?
Turtles,
yeah.
G.I. Joe, Transformers. Look, I'm not saying all that shit was highbrow to begin with. Like, a lot of it was stupid, but it's about to get much stupider. Also, come to find out, the first movie Skydance produced, Flyboys, that movie with James Franco, David Ellison was a fucking co-star in a major role.
Was he?
In his own movie that he produced.
Well, I mean, look, I can't fault him for that because
I can. Like, yo, did you see Megan insert herself in American Hustle or The Grandmaster or all the other stuff that Anna Peruna has put out?
No, but like what I'm saying is, look, if you got no talent, you got to buy your way in.
Clearly.
Right.
Clearly. I mean, they both did,
money.
but I mean, I respect Megan more as a filmmaker and producer rather than David.
It's the yin and yang. Like, Megan Ellison is the best we can hope for when it comes to film making and filmmakers, because she gets it, right? She's a film fan. She's a film maker. David Ellison just has a lot of money, right?
Well, one thing I like, which I thought was cool, is very rarely do you get producers at Q&As. And over like the past, whenever an Anna Peruna movie was being screened for the guild I was part of, she would come in for the Q&A and sit down and actually like answer questions and talk about the movie.
Because she cares about the things that she's making. It's not just product. It is art.
And she would show up at the awards ceremony too, taking pictures with everybody, just hanging out. Her and her
Right.
partner were always there, just chilling. She didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. So like, like I said, yin and yang. So look, I don't I don't want anything bad to happen to Paramount now that this happened. I don't want David Ellison to fail. I do not have faith that he can shepherd and steer this studio, which has created some of the best movies of the last,
Of all time. Like
of all
they
time,
gave us The Godfather.
Yeah.
They gave us
like
Chinatown.
the historic Paramount lot.
I mean, me personally, I'm rooting for this nigga to fail.
I'm not rooting for anybody to fail, because if he fails, we all fail.
Nah,
right? We all lose.
I need him to fail. Fuck this nigga.
I just want him to do right. I want him to surround himself with smart people.
Oh no, he's not. He's not going to. I mean, also, why didn't Skydance just keep their deal with Apple? They were slowly transitioning from Paramount to Apple.
I mean, they had the chance to buy a whole entire fucking studio, man. You had the money. Like, I get the money moves. The money moves.
Nigga looks like a demon. Nah, Google him. He looks like a demon. Looks like Pazazu.
I don't even know what this motherfucker looks like. Hold on.
Like him and his sister look exactly alike, and I'm like, your sister is more aesthetically pleasing than you are.
You attacking this motherfucker's looks.
Yo, listen, I don't.
Oh,
I'm like DMX, man. I don't like his flow. I don't like his style. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he walks. Remember, for those of you who don't know, before DMX died, the Breakfast Club had DMX on. They asked him, how you feel about Drake? And he's like, I don't like Drake. I don't like the way he looks. I don't like his voice. I don't like the way he walks. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he dances. I don't like nothing about Drake.
All right, so I'm looking up David Ellison right now. He does look like if you went to a lab and you were like, I want white. Right? I want a white male. And it's like that is what they give you.
He looks like if the devil fucked a salamander.
God damn.
Meanwhile, his sister does look a little angelic.
See, yin and yang, man. Yin and yang.
All right. So our last bit of news that I could remember off the top of my dome is Sony has bought Alamo Drafthouse.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, this is the first time in, they said, 40 years that a studio has owned a theater chain. And the reason why that hasn't happened is because of antitrust laws and shit like that. And
like, I called this 3 years ago, right? With all these theaters closing, and like these theater chains, and I thought Disney would be the first one to do it, right? They would just buy an entity, buy a theater chain, and then just rebrand it as the whatever experience, the Apple's experience or the Disney experience. And it's coming to fruition, right? So Sony bought Alamo Drafthouse, and also Netflix is building an entertainment complex in King of Prussia.
They also own the Paris Theater in New York. And I remember when they bought that, everybody's like, yo, why the fuck? Oh, come on. That is a historic theater. And they also bought another historic theater out in LA. They bought the Egyptian Theater. That theater is older than the Chinese theater. The Egyptian is like, that is a protected landmark, and they own that motherfucker.
Yeah, so get ready for all these motherfuckers, like all these studios to just bypass the process and just create their own movie theaters where they're going to shove product down your throat.
Here's my question, right? Netflix doesn't like movie theaters, so why would they buy movie theaters?
Because it's not about the movie theater, it's about the experience, man. They're going to make like fucking, they're going to do a virtual Stranger Things ride, or a walk through room.
I mean, I'll give them this, because I've been looking at the Paris. Like every once in a while, they'll do a 70mm film festival of like really good movies, and I was just like, oh, that's surprising from Netflix. but it's also to promote like Rebel Moon or some shit like that.
Right.
But like, and like that's primarily what plays in their theaters are Netflix movies. But like, bro, y'all don't like movie theaters, but then you guys buy movie theaters. Like when Roma came out, they four-walled theaters to show that movie in 70 millimeter. And I'm just like, the fuck would you guys do that for if you hate movie theaters?
Yeah, no, they're not like they don't think of it as buying movie theaters. They're buying it. They're thinking of it as buying storefronts. They can sell their merch, so they can sell their merch.
Look, I saw Glass Onion in theaters twice. Once at a press screening, and then I paid to see it at the Drafthouse. Doesn't make me want to subscribe to Netflix. I love that movie. Look. No singular movie is gonna make me subscribe to a fucking streaming service. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like honestly, we talked about this ad nauseum, but it finally hit. Like I can no longer justify paying for Hulu ad free, right?
Oh
like,
yeah, I've been paying for ads for a minute.
Yeah, like I'll pay that $8 a month because it's just not it's not worth it. And so like that's where they're turning now, because they know now that they can't make that money off of ad free because a lot of people are jumping ship off that shit. Now they got to have storefronts.
It also doesn't help. You got like Pluto and Tubi and Freevee, all that shit. And there's I'm not trying to shit on Tubi, but there is some quality shit on Tubi. Like I went last Saturday to get my hair retwisted and get a haircut. And my barber was like, "Hey man, you like sports?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not really into sports." He's like, "Okay, well, what do you like? I was like, "Yo, I fuck with movies." He's like, "Oh, word?" He's like, "Recommend me a movie." I was like, "You got Tubi?" He's like, "Yeah, I fuck with Tubi. Tubi's free." I was like, "All right, Tenet is on Tubi. Watch that shit." And he's like, "Word? The fuck is that?" And I explained it to him, and he's just like, "Yo, that sounds ill." And the barber next to him just goes, "Yo, that movie's hard as fuck. Well, you're gonna have to watch it like 3 times, but I'm telling you, it gets better each time. And by the 3rd time, you're gonna understand it." And the next thing I know, half the fucking barbershop's talking about Tenet. All because I recommended it because it was on Tubi for free.
Yeah, I like the Batman is on Tubi, right? Like add VOD, right? Like these
WB trying to make that money. They trying to make that licensing money.
Look,
keep this same energy for Horizon, because y'all motherfuckers need that.
Look, like I actually find myself watching Tubi more than like any of the other streaming services, honestly, because that algorithm actually gets me.
Listen,
it gets me. It suggests some good shit.
I didn't believe it when it was up on there. Like I text you, I'm like, "Yo, Tenet's on Tubi," and I press play, and I was like, "Damn, the sound quality is okay, but the picture quality is actually pretty fucking decent." Like I couldn't even be mad. I ended up watching the whole thing.
Right. Fucking Tubi. Like it's just not hood. It's not just hood movies, or old TV shows. It's literally everything.
I mean, that's how Hulu started off, right? Like the first stream before Netflix turned to streaming, it was Hulu. Like it was YouTube and Hulu. And I remember Hulu was like the place to go to watch all your favorite shows for free.
Yeah, but now it's part of that package with fucking Disney Plus and ESPN.
Yeah, and out of all 3, Hulu is the strongest.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's somehow the cheapest. I mean, I don't fuck with sports, so I can't speak on ESPN Plus. But like, as far as Disney Plus, I'm like, bro, Hulu should not be cheaper than Disney Plus.
And like, and here's the thing, right? Like, I have to remember to watch something on Disney Plus, right? It's not like it's a go-to.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I boot up Disney Plus now is to catch up on like a movie, like a sequel that's coming out, and I'll go on there and be like, all right, let me watch the original again. Or if I haven't seen it, let me watch it. Or to watch a new episode of, some Marvel or Star Wars shit, which I'm at a point now where I'm just like, the Star Wars shit I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to finish out this season and then I'm good. Like, I'm going to give Skeleton Crew a chance because I love John Watts. You know what I'm saying? And Jude Law doing a TV show is interesting because that dude just doesn't seem to be a TV show type guy. So like, he did do the new Pope. Right, I forgot about that, and the young pope, and then the sequel,
Yeah, Pope, right.
the
Yeah.
new pope.
Yeah.
But that's also Paulo Sorrento. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
get why he did that. Like, Paulo, he's him and Luca are like running the Italian film industry. But like, yeah, I gotta watch a new episode tonight of this shit. I'm just like, God damn it.
I can't get past the third episode of
Yeah,
Acolyte.
episode
I
3
can't.
is fucking terrible. It is fucking terrible.
Like, I'm just like, is this it? Like, I can't. I can't.
Yo.
And it was like, it was enough to drag myself through episode 2.
I like the first. I think that honestly, the first 2 episodes are the strongest out of this whole shit. I'll get into it later, just because this is the problem about voicing bad opinions on this shit. But I'll get into that when I start talking about it. But yeah, I really hope the quality of the Drafthouse doesn't decline. Is all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Also,
like,
don't change that no talking, no texting, because they're the only theater that fucking really enforces it.
And God bless them for that. Because motherfuckers just don't they don't respect the movie going experience, but also they don't respect the fact that everybody else in there paid to be there.
Oh
right?
yeah, I'm gonna get into that too, because I had a ignorant motherfucker during what's the name of that Maxxxine, where I was just like, yo,
Maxxxine, right?
I'll get into it.
All right.
Before we move further, speaking of news, we are at a new home, so you need to resubscribe.
Yeah, because it's a mess right now, but we're working on it. Everything's the same on Spotify. We're gonna be fixing everything with Amazon soon. We're now on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
so
for all of you guys who were like, yo, why aren't you on YouTube, man? I want to listen, but it's not on YouTube.
Yeah,
I don't even know all of you got hyped off of YouTube like that.
Yeah, so we're on YouTube Music now, and we are still on iTunes, right? Or Apple Podcast. You just have to resubscribe to the Film Blurs instead of Film Blurs, right? The Film Blurs is where all the new episodes are going to be populating. Just because, some tomfuckery.
Well, with that said, Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
All right, so we're gonna start off with TV. So for Pride Month, which was last month, which was June, Peacock had the like all the other services had their LGBTQ plus movies and TV, and on it was the sci-fi original show Chucky, right? Yes, that's the same look that I had. Like, what the fuck is Chucky doing in the in like the rainbow family, right? Like rainbow cinema. So I click on it and I watch it. I get it, right? Because like the main character, like unequivocally gay, right? Which is cool to have the main character as a gay person. But let's talk about this show, Chucky, right? I had been avoiding this thing for years because I knew it was going to be horrible, right? I knew it in my bones. It's like, why would I waste my time watching the TV show of Child's Play? I start watching this. It is absolutely fucking hilarious. It is funny. It is gory. It is fucking campy as hell, right? It's not good, right? But it's fun and enjoyable. It is trash TV. They leaned into all of that bullshit from all of the Chucky series. It's like, okay, I get it now.
No offense, I know Child's Play has its fans, but none of those movies are fucking good.
Right. Like going back and watching the first one was like the first one was competent, right?
Yeah. The
But it
only one
wasn't.
the only one I could say I enjoyed was 2.
That was a military school one, right?
That was 3.
That was 3? Okay.
That 3 sucked.
All right. I can't remember what happened then too. But yeah, Chucky the series, it's on Peacock. It's if you don't take your horror seriously, if you just want some fucking fun and some mayhem, and just all out weirdness, go ahead and watch Chucky. Like, I was pleasantly surprised at how well constructed this piece of shit was, right? Like, it is so weird that Devon Sawa plays 2 characters. He plays twin brothers throughout
That
the whole
nigga really
motherfucker.
fucked up his career by not doing Final Destination 2.
Right?
Yeah, like he should have just did that shit.
Like it was like he went from Idle Hands to your Final Destination, and then it just nosedived from there. What else is it? Like, I know stuff he's done, but he should have had a bigger career.
Yeah, man. Final Destination is still one of my favorite movies. Like, I love that fucking movie.
Right, like in the pantheon of 90s horror films, right?
Early 2000s.
Is it early 2000s? Yeah.
Mhm.
Early 2000s horror films. That's shots fired. That's like the opening salvo.
That is the only series that's consistent. Like, I like some of them more than the others,
Right.
but like, the first one and the third one, and then I think number 5, like, those are fucking nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
Fuck, why can't we get another one of those? Y'all keep resurrecting all this dumb shit.
well, we will. We will. That's Lionsgate too. No, that's
New Line.
New Line. But didn't Lionsgate buy New Line?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, they just folded. Warner Brothers and New Line were sister companies, and then for some reason they just folded Warner Brothers. No, they Time Warner folded New Line into Warner Brothers. Yeah, so it's just it's fucking stupid.
Right. It's just
good thing is at least they're back using the old school New Line logo. Like, it was in front of the Watchers and it was in front of Horizon.
All right. Well. But yeah, that's fucking Chucky. Moving on from that into TV, season 2 of House of the Dragon. As you know, I was not a big fan of season 1, but I am a completist for the most part. So I was like, all right, let me ride through season 2. We are 4 episodes in, and now I am finally liking this show. Right? This last episode where we actually see a dragon battle, this is what I've wanted for the last season and a half. Right? It was tense. It was exciting. It was heartbreaking. Like, now this is the show I want. Right? This is giving me like season 1 or 2 of OG Game of Thrones vibes. And I'm here for it, right? So, House of the Dragon, episode 4, things change quick. Things change real fucking quick. And that's a hallmark of Game of Thrones. Like, no one is fucking safe. No one is fucking safe. So, House of the Dragon on HBO Max. Yeah. All right. Pretty good. All right, moving on from that. I don't know if you want to talk about this together or whatever like that, but the new season of The Bear, because we forgot to talk about this last week.
Yeah, I binged it all in like a day, the whole thing, because I knew motherfuckers were going to spoil it. I started it when we got home from a screening. I can't remember what we saw. I watched like the first 2 episodes, woke up, watched the next 3, got off of work, and finished the show.
Yeah, I still have 2 episodes to watch, and I don't want to watch them for any reason, just because I don't want the show to, like, I don't want to wait another year right? For I don't want the show to end.
I'm not sure if next season's going to be the last because I know they filmed season 3 and 4 back to back, and you
Right.
can tell because the season finale ends on a to be continued. First
Right.
time ever they've done that.
Yeah. But well, I'll talk about the the episodes that I did see. This show is absolutely beautiful, right? On all aspects, right? From the cinematography to the music to the editing, it is a work of art, right? That first episode, which is just like, and I think it has maybe 3 lines of dialogue in the whole entire fucking thing.
No, it has more than that, but it's mostly comprised of flashbacks.
Right. It's all flashbacks and music.
Not all of it, most of it.
Right. All right. Most of it. But it's beautiful. Like if the whole entire season was laid out like this first episode, I wouldn't be mad at it. Right?
I fucking love the end of episode 2 where fucking Carmi goes up to my man's, I forget what his name is. Oh man, Lionel Boyce is the actor. Anyways, he goes up to Lionel. He's just like, "Yo, listen, I'm the only person who knows what you're going through, so you can talk to me." And he just looks up at him. He's like, "Look, my mom died while I was here," and he's like, "Yeah, that's something I'm never gonna forgive myself for." And he's just like, "No, that's how it's supposed to be. I was supposed to be here." But
Right.
he's like, I just I know you want us to get a Michelin star. And he's like, yeah. So he's like, I want you to promise me one thing. He's like, anything, man, anything in the world, I'll do it for you. He's like, take us there. And then it cuts right to black. And I was like,
Right.
yeah. I got up. I was like, let's go. Yeah.
So far my favorite episode has been, I think it's episode 6, which is Napkins.
With the directed by Io.
Right, directed by Io. And
it's about Tina trying to get a job after she's been laid off.
Right. It's a master class in acting, because that last 10 minutes in the restaurant where it's just her and John Barenthal talking it's masterful, right? Because it's a true example of how you don't have to be like you can share the screen with somebody, right? John Barenthal was such a giving scene partner in that. And just I forget the woman's name who plays Tina.
Yeah, I do too, but she's a fantastic actress.
Right, she's fantastic, but he allowed her to just like own the scene, right? And he just gave her what she needed to get her to that place. It's a beautiful fucking scene. The fucking bear. It's a great show. Like if you're not watching it, you should be watching it. That's all I will
say. I did like the 3rd season a lot, just not as much as the first 2. And I know a lot of people have been shitting on it, and I'm like, y'all need to calm the fuck down. It's not bad.
Like why? I don't even know why why are they shitting on it?
You know, because it's the internet.
Yeah, and like here's the thing. Season 3 is different because they're not going through they're going through a different struggle, right? And I think a lot of people with a lot of these shows, once your main character gets to a place of success and they have a new struggle that you can't kind of relate to, right? They get mad and say it's bad, right? So in the first 2 seasons, it was just a struggle to make it, right? To that next level, all right? Or to just like survive. And a lot of people can kind of relate to that, right? A lot. That fucking, yeah, let's go, this hustle struggle. Season 3 is about how do you maintain that success, right? We're here now. What do we do to stay here and to go forward?
Well, I mean, they're a new restaurant too, and it ends on a pretty big cliffhanger because they're being reviewed.
Right. But you understand what I'm saying is most people who are shitting on this haven't even gotten to that level where they're now in a position to be successful, right? And so they can't relate to this newest struggle.
They're not even successful. They're still trying to get off the ground because
Right, but you understand, like, they
saying like,
opened,
"Yo, we're in the black, man."
but they opened a restaurant, right? It's being hailed and heralded, right? Like most people,
We
they're
don't
making
know that,
success.
like, because we're seeing it from the inside out. So like the only time we hear it from the outside is from the chef that's trying to poach Sydney, and
Right.
he's like, "Yo, that kitchen's chaotic. Come work in a positive environment." And then portions of the review, because you don't get the whole review. That's part of the cliffhanger. You get portions of it, and you're just like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, but I think that's part of the reason people are being shitty towards this season is because they no longer can relate to the struggle. Moving on from that, on Netflix, there is a new superhero show out of England called Supacell, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It has its problems, but it's an interesting take on the superhero genre. It is only black people have superpowers, and only if they carry if they have sickle cell anemia or predisposed to sickle cell anemia. So it's an interesting hook. It really is, right? Because only black people and Jewish people can get sickle cell anemia. So they use that as the hook for this superhero show. It's real, like it's not end of the world type bullshit, right? It's not huge, like fighting Thanos type shit. It literally is this group of five everyday Londoners who have to find each other in order to take on the white man, like a corporation that's doing some dirty deeds. It's fun. It's good to see black superheroes, and it's not Marvel, right? It's not the best thing. It's not the worst thing. But it is worthy of like putting it on and wasting a Sunday. I wouldn't waste a Saturday on this, but a Sunday a Sunday hangover marathon, yeah, you can make that work. All right, and moving into TV. Oh, sorry, moving into movies. I decided to rewatch Living in Oblivion, which is my first Steve Buscemi movie. Right, that's the first Steve Buscemi movie I ever watched. It's a '90s indie about a independent film production, right? And I love watching movies about the making of movies, right? And it's got Peter Dinklage in it. It's got some, notable stars in it, Dermot Mulroney, and stuff like that. And if you've ever been on a film set, if you've ever been on an indie film set, like this is exactly what it's fucking like, right? Nothing, it's chaotic. Nothing goes wrong. Nothing goes right. You gotta bend over backwards to put a star in because you want to try to sell it. Yada 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 yada. Meanwhile, trying to keep your artistic vision. It's it's hilarious. It's straight '90s, right? Indie. You know what that means. But yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah, I think it's on Amazon Prime. If you get a chance, Living in Oblivion. It's if you love movies about making movies, it's great. If you want to see a young Steve Buscemi and all his Busceminess, before whatever age gun they shot him with, because motherfucker's looking old now. Yeah, watch that shit. Moving on from that, I finally got a chance to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes or Kingdom of the Apes. It's okay. It's fine. It's a setup. It's like you said in your review. it's a setup for the other movies. And that's all I can.
Yeah, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is just okay.
Yeah, it's right. It's fine.
Like, the
It's
one
fine.
thing I give it is it's very rare that we get a big budget blockbuster that actually takes its time in telling the stories, especially a character driven one like that. But like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it might have hit different for me if I had watched it on the big screen. I might have, like the spectacle of it and the grandness of it. Maybe it would have hit me different. I'm looking forward to what happens next, right? Instead of, but that's what kind of leaves me, feeling kind of oogie, is because I like, give me a fucking full movie, right? Don't give me a setup for the next 2 or 3 movies. But yeah, it's absolutely fine. I mean, you have to watch it if you want to watch the other movies that are going to be coming down the pipe. But yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. Moving on from that, I tried watching Chris Pine's Poolman. I tried to watch it 3 times, and each time I got about 15 minutes in before I fell asleep. Poolman is a vanity project written and directed by Chris Pine, produced by Patty Jenkins. So Patty must have owed him a favor to
Well,
for
they
her
have
to
a whole
produce this.
production company together.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, they really formed a kinship on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Because now this is the 4th project they've worked on together. So
Is
the
it?
2 Wonder Woman movies, the TV show that they did together on TNT, and now this.
Yeah, this is. I can't tell you what this movie's about because it is so slow and uninteresting and quirky, but not in a good way, not in an interesting way. That I didn't get to the initial setup until before I fell asleep the 3 times. I got nothing to say. Like, it's being shit upon by critics and fans alike, and I get it because it's not good. It is peak vanity project. It's like as if Chris Pine had half a conversation with his actual pool man and decided oh, I'm going to do a movie about poor people who have actual jobs. And then this is where you get the pool man from. That's all I gotta say about that. That's just what that is. And I'm going to leave off on a movie that I discovered on Amazon. And I clicked on it based on the fact that it had Nicolas Cage in there, and the poster looked really cool. Right? It's called Deadfall. Right? And the way the poster makes it looks like a fucking like a noir thriller, like the kind of shit Brian De Palma used to give us, right? The poster gives big Brian De Palma energy. It's like, yeah, fucking Nicolas Cage. This came out in the fucking late 90s. Yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's go. I put this thing on, and it is the most unintentionally hilarious film I've seen in a long time. It is Nick Cage, who's only in it for like 15, 20 minutes, right? Going full Nick Cage in a wig and a bad mustache to the point where I think that Nick Cage might be a time traveler, right? He so it's almost as if he is playing the who's I can't even fucking think of it. Like he was he's playing Pedro Pascal. He looks and acts like Pedro Pascal from um the Weight of Being movie, right? The Unbearable Weight of Being film, right? So he's going full Latin, bad hairpiece, mustache in this. The soundtrack for this movie is circus music for some reason. Everybody is phoning in their performance. Michael Biehn is playing the lead character. He's the star. It looks as if he had big cocaine debt, and that's why he's in this movie, right? It is horrible, but also fucking hilarious, right? So if you get a chance and you want to watch a piece of shit movie that will have you chuckling all the way through the fucking several dumbass twists, Deadfall on Amazon. God damn, that movie is bad. All right. So what have you been watching?
Still watching the Acolyte on Disney Plus. I just this show is like Horizon in that the story's just inert. Like nothing is happening. And it's frustrating. And not only is nothing happening, I like Amandla Steinberg as an actress. She's terrible in this show. I just don't fuck with this show. And that's the problem is like, yo, the Star Wars fan base is so fucking toxic. And this is from people I know, people I respect, all across the spectrum. If you say something bad like I am now, like I don't like it, then I'm a misogynist. Because this show's created by Leslie Headland and has a female lead. But then, if I say I hate it, I'm being lumped in to the toxic fan base. And it's just like, bro, I'm just a dude who just doesn't fuck with this, to be quite honest with you.
Right. You don't like it because it's not good. You don't not like it because black female lead.
I'll be real with you. This is par for the course for this Star Wars shit. It's like most of this shit, honestly, I'm like, eh. Like ever since Disney's taken this over, I'm just like, all right, so outside of The Last Jedi, Rogue One, and Andor, there hasn't really been much of anything. And The Mandalorian started off very strong and then just devolved into a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, like I said, I can't get past. I've got no interest in getting past the third episode.
Like
right?
I'll give Skeleton Crew a shot when it drops later this year, and I'm gonna finish this season of the Acolyte. But as far as me continuing this, like once this season's done, I'm good. I have no interest in continuing this show at all. I'm fucking good.
I still have no idea what's the show about. Right? I know what the plot is, but I don't know what it's trying to say.
You have to get a little deeper in, but that's also the problem is the show is so inert in its storytelling and plotting. It just feels like the whole shit feels like we're spinning wheels.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm really not fucking with this show. The Acolyte on Disney Plus. If you enjoy it, more power to you. But it's not for me. Like, and that's also the other problem with Star Wars fans is like the Star Wars fans who love shit. They love everything, and I'm just like, y'all. I could walk out naked with a lightsaber and do some cool shit, and people would be like, "Oh, this is the greatest thing ever," and I'm just like, yeah, because some of y'all motherfuckers just don't care. It's just Star Wars, everything, all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to say about it, man. You're right. Like, it reminds me of that episode of Rick and Morty where they turn everything into a lightsaber, right? You don't fuck with Rick and Morty, but there's a whole entire episode where Morty drops a replica lightsaber, like blade down, and it like 100% vertical, and it starts slicing through the earth, right? Like right towards the core. So their whole entire mission is to like try to stop this fucking lightsaber before it hits the core of the earth and blows up everything. And in it, they find out the president's a big Star Wars fan, and it is like, isn't it cool? Like, I gave this robot lightsaber eyes. And I was like, you know what's cooler than lightsaber eyes? A lightsaber Gatling gun, right? And it was a comment on, as long as you give us a cool lightsaber, as long as you give these fans a cool lightsaber, they'll go past the fact that the show or the movie is absolute dog shit. You know?
I'm very much getting to the point where I'm over Star Wars, to be quite honest with you. If Ryan Johnson comes back and does his trilogy, amen. Fucking man. But as of right now, I'm just like, man, if the Skeleton Crew sucks, I'm very good on Star Wars.
And here's my thing. I was such a fan of The Mandalorian. I went like hard for The Mandalorian because I did not expect it to be good, right? I did not, and like I've been so disappointed by Star Wars over the years that when I got something that was well thought out, well executed, I was like, fuck yeah. I went all in. And that was my mistake by giving them the benefit of the doubt that this was more than product for them. But they proved that after The Mandalorian we get the book of Boba Fett, right? Which was, and then we get season 3 of The Mandalorian, and it's like, come on, it's just, stop. I know the fans built this, right? But also, sometimes the fans are wrong, and you shouldn't pander to them.
Moving on. The newest episode of My Adventures with Superman, using Brainiac perfectly. Like the storyline they're doing with Brainiac and Supergirl, I'm like, this is so fucking good. And this week's episode ends on a major cliffhanger where I'm just like, man, you guys are fucked. There's just no way y'all gonna come out like unscathed on this motherfucker. Like, Kara is strong, but she ain't that strong.
How many more episodes are there this season?
2. All right, I gotta wait till next summer for season 3 because it's been they renewed that shit early after after episode 3. They're like, yeah, y'all wanted it, you'll get more, and I'm like, good, like keep making this fucking show forever because I'm like, yo, I do need another Superman movie, and I really do hope James Gunn's movie is good. But
right,
if it's not good, at least this show exists. At least I have this. The one thing I look forward to on Sundays is getting off of work, coming home, showering, and just watching the newest episode of this shit.
And I've got to jump on board because I'm a Superman fan, and the fact that you've been talking about this for like the last year.
I mean, like, every Sunday you'll see it trending on Twitter with people just like, yo. I was like, all right, like everybody. I don't know anyone who's watched this show and has hated it.
Okay, I mean, and that's something in itself because you always have just a group of haters just to hate.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I never thought Jack Quaid would make a good Superman, but he makes a great Superman and great Clark Kent. Good voice acting from him. He's having a good couple of years. And that's it for TV. I'm going to move into movies. I'm going to start with Without Remorse. I want to rewatch Without Remorse, and it's still just a blase okay movie.
Yeah, it's I didn't even have a desire to rewatch it. But it's yeah. It's there.
Like everything's in place. It just needs a better script, honestly. Like the script fucking sucks. Uh Men in Black. I rewatched this on Hulu. Cuz I wanted to start watching some 90s blockbusters for the 4th of July and like goddamn. Uh this is like a perfect fucking movie almost. Like it never gets old. Some of those jokes still have me cracking up laughing like when Kay shoots Jeeves' head off, and then Jeeves' head grows back, and he's just
Right.
like, "When I come back, I want these Acrylian guns gone." And then Will Smith, he just looking around, and he pauses, and the way he delivers the line, he's like, "Yeah, and clean this shit up, and I'll be back for them Rolexes." Like that shit had me dying. I was like wiping tears from my eyes. I was like, "Yo, some of these jokes are still fucking funny." Like that shit was funny as fuck. Also, when Kay grabs Frank the pug and starts interrogating Frank the pug by shaking the shit out of him on the street, and every and everybody's stopping, looking at him. And Will Smith's like, "Yo, it's fine. He owes him $5." That shit fucking cracks me up. I want, or where Edgar, like shout out to Vincent D'Onofrio, man. If this had come out today, he would have got Best Supporting Actor for an Oscar nom, just because that physical transformation he does when Edgar takes his skin and wears it. Also, that shit
Right.
cracks me up. "Give me water. Here you go, Edgar. With sugar. Okay. More. And that nigga chugs the fucking sugar water. That shit is hilarious. And she's like, "Edgar, why is your skin falling off?" And he's like, "What do you mean? Like this?" And he pulls his skin back and she faints. Shout out to the makeup department, because like that Edgar suit that cockroach is wearing is slowly deteriorates over the course of the movie. Like it is disgusting.
Like the makeup, the VFX, everything was on point.
Yeah, man, it was
for this
creative.
fucking
It wasn't
movie.
afraid to be weird either. Like this movie's weird as fuck. I also the shit cracks me up. Where homie's covered in Mikey at the beginning, the alien Mikey after they shoot him, and he's like, "Look at
Right.
you, son. Go." He's like, "What? There's a big gas leak. Now look at you." As Kay's making up that fucking excuse. This movie's fucking wild. Also, the car. "Hey, put your seatbelt on." He's like, "Man, I don't need to wear no seatbelt. We're riding around this busted Ford." He's like, "All right." And puts his foot on the gas, and you see him fly against the dashboard. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, put your seatbelt on. Remember that button I didn't tell you to push? Push it." He pushes it, and it turns into the supercar, and you just see him fall because he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. So every time that Elvis song's playing, and every time a line finishes, you just hear Jay go, "Ah, so take me home to sweet Alabama." Ah. That shit is hilarious.
I think I want to go back and watch this fucking movie. I forgot how much I love Men in Black.
And it's so short too. It's only 90 minutes.
Right? Like, when's the last time we had a 90-minute blockbuster?
I don't know,
right?
but I'm gonna watch Men in Black 3 because I remember liking Men in Black 3 a lot. And I know the original they had a bunch of alternate endings. Like one was where Kay died, another where Kay didn't retire and he actually just stayed Jay's partner. And I'm like,
Right.
Well, we all know what ending y'all should have used. Should have used the fucking one where he just stayed his partner, and then we wouldn't have Men in Black 2 might have been better and not some bullshit.
At least we got at least Men in Black 2 gave us Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, she was already popping before that.
Was she?
Yeah,
Like, I remember that was the first.
She's a child actress. Like she was in Kids. That's what blew her up, was Kids.
Right, but as an adult, like this was her like.
She was doing other shit. Like she was in a bunch of like teen rom-coms before this shit.
Was she?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, nah. Men in Black, the only good thing about Men in Black 2 is that it's only 88 minutes. Otherwise, that movie fucking sucks.
I can't remember anything about it besides what was it? Statue of Liberty is a
Neuralizer.
signal or yeah.
Yeah,
a pizza place.
I'm gonna rewatch Men in Black 3 though. I remember liking that one a lot. I was like, at least y'all went out on top because
That's the one where Josh Brolin's playing young.
young,
Yeah.
and it is uncanny the way he looks and sounds.
Right.
I was just like, God damn, y'all could be like father son, honestly.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch Men in Black 3 soon. But yeah, Men in Black 1, god damn, bro, like this shit rules. And it's just so well written, so well directed. Like Barry Sonnenfeld, I this also I was like, yo, movies from the 90s make me sick because Barry Sonnenfeld, almost every scene has those fucking zoom push-ins. And I'm just like, bro, you're making me sick with these. Like he does them like almost every scene.
I mean, that's like that's part of his trademark. That was all over. Remember Pushing Daisies?
Yeah, but that was also in Addams Family, but not as much as Men in Black. But like, yeah, even Jay fucking up the Men in Black headquarters by touching that ball. The noisy cricket where that gun just fucking makes him fly back. Oh! Yeah, man. Men in Black. Oh man, so good. Moving on. Signs was up on HBO Max, and I wanted to rewatch it because I was like, yo, you know what, man? I that's the one M. Night movie I haven't revisited. Since I've seen it in theaters, and I was like, let me revisit it. And I was just like, what the fuck happened to M. Night? Like, this is a good fucking movie. Holy shit! And the fact that this movie would flop nowadays just because people's attention spans have just dissipated because this movie takes its time. It's very deliberate in what it shows you. And honestly, we need more, like, I know this is technically a science fiction horror movie, but to me, this is a suspense movie, and we need more suspense movies. Like, this is one of the best suspense movies ever made.
Like, M. Night used to be fucking beautiful. You know how good Signs is, right?
There's no twist.
That's what no fucking twist.
Fucking
right?
twist.
But that scene where they're watching the news from Brazil, right? And like you see the alien, right? How long ago did that movie come out? Fucking 20 years ago?
2022. I vividly remember seeing it twice in theaters.
That scene still fucking scares me.
Nah, what really still scares me is the hand. The hand comes under the door where Mel Gibson is peeking and trying to see what's in homie's pantry. And then you just see the shot of the hand come at you. I was like, nah, that still fucked me up. Also, the other part where the hands in this fuck me up because that's one. Then the second time where they're running into the basement and you see young Culkin. He's the youngest. I can't remember. I think it's Kieran Culkin. He looks at the door before Mel Gibson grabs him, and you see the door. You see the hand come under the door and then start going up the door. And I was like, nah, that shit fucked me up. And then also in the basement where Joaquin Phoenix accidentally breaks the light bulb. So like they're using the flashlights and they keep turning them off and on. And Kieran Culkin standing by the coal where they dump the coal into the basement, the coal shaft, and you just see him standing there. And all of a sudden, because the aliens can camouflage, all of a sudden the hand is not camouflaged anymore. It's just touching homie's shoulder. I was like, nah, that shit fucked me up too. Yeah, I do like though that shit is. One thing I like about it, as serious as this movie is, it is not afraid to have humor. Like there's humor all throughout this. Like. After that shit happens, they board up the coal shaft with dog food, and there's a can of soup, of chunky soup sitting on the ground, and Joaquin Phoenix grabs it and puts it on top of that shit too. Also, that story Joaquin Phoenix tells about him, about like how lucky he is, where he's like, yeah, I was with that girl. And he goes, and he looks at Mel Gibson, winks and goes, yeah, I was with that girl, and we're on her couch, and just as we're about to kiss, I turn and put some gum in my mouth, and I turn back, and she threw up all over herself. And I just thought how lucky I was that I didn't kiss her while she was throwing up. That story fucking cracks me up all the time. But Mel Gibson, like, this is like the last time he like
this is
gave a great performance. And also
this was before he imploded.
This is definitely the start of his implosion because he's playing a priest. Like, I feel like this is the movie that made him ultra religious because he's playing a priest.
Yeah, this is before, he became toxic.
Became the super Christian.
Right. But yeah, no, so I've always loved Signs, and like I don't know, people are always clowning like how the
aliens.
Flaw,
the aliens.
like,
they're like, how did they land on? How did they not know their weakness is water, and they land on a planet that's mostly water? I was like, well, nigga, they didn't know. They probably didn't know their weakness was water.
Right, but like that is the one sticking point of this whole entire masterfully made suspense horror sci-fi movie. That's your one sticking point. Like, get the fuck out of here.
At a certain point, I'm like, yo, we've suspended disbelief with the crop circles, with the aliens, the fact that they can camouflage themselves, and the problem everybody had with this movie was the water. And I'm just like, I don't see what the problem is.
Right, like if you were able to suspend all that other shit, like this, of all the shit, this is honestly the most plausible, right?
I mean, come on, man. If I went to a planet, right, and I could breathe the air, and then I find out, breathing the air for a long period of time on this alien world is toxic for me, then yeah, like, come on, bro. Like, they're aliens. How the fuck are they supposed to know?
Right? That's like A Quiet Place, right?
How
you getting mad,
that
like
sound.
They land on this planet, right? They land on this planet, right? That is, they can't swim, but the planet is like 80% water.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Still like, come on.
Yeah. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, also, I forgot he did 2 M. Night movies because he did this in The Village. And I was just like, damn, he's been on that prestigious shit for a minute.
I forgot he was in The Village.
Yeah, The Village I watched a few years ago when we first started doing this podcast, and I talked about it. And I just remember saying, even then, that would be his best movie if he didn't do that fucking lame-ass twist.
Yeah.
A fucking lame twist. Lame duck twist. Like, yo, if the aliens were real in this, why couldn't the creatures be real in fucking The Village?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, I mean, I was talking to your boy the other day while we were at that screening. Like, M. Night fucks up and makes a good movie, right? Like when we get a good M. Night movie all the way through, it seems like an accident from like a certain point.
Well, he had a run
in his career.
He had a good run. That's why he was who he was. From Sixth Sense to The Village. Like, I still fuck with The Village despite that terrible twist, that
ending.
Yeah. Because I get why that kills the movie for people, but for me it didn't, just because that would be his best movie. But then,
but it's needless. But that twist is needless.
Right. And then right after The Village, it was Lady in the Water. And I do remember seeing the teaser for that in theaters, right? And it said Lady in the Water, and the teaser ends, the new film from M. Night Shyamalan. And I remember people were like clapping and cheering, like, woo! I was just like, yo, that nigga used to get people hyped to see his shit. And now, like, whenever you see an M. Night Shyamalan movie, you're just like, ugh, boy. Like, the thing is, like, he won us all back. He won everyone back with Split.
Yep.
Because we were just like, this nigga made a secret sequel that is a super villain origin story. Like, we've never had a movie be about the super villain before. I mean, we didn't know it till the end of the movie. We're like, yo. And then completely fucking shits the bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Old, like he almost won me back with Old.
Now, that movie's stupid as fuck.
Until like 20 minutes in, and it's like, oh yeah, I know like, wouldn't it? And I was saying this, like, wouldn't it be stupid? And this is a spoiler alert for everyone who's not seen old. Wouldn't it be kind of stupid if this whole entire like aging island was being used by a pharmaceutical company to study the effects of medicine? That would be a dumb thing for this movie to do. Guess what it does?
Yeah, I mean,
twist.
I thought the whole concept is just fucking stupid. Honestly, no offense. Like Interstellar did that shit better, where they went to the water planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, old sucked. I would say I enjoyed Knock at the Cabin. Like that is his only recent movie where I was like, okay, all right.
And like I didn't really like I didn't hate Knock at the Cabin, but it wasn't like I didn't care.
But I mean, damn, did he have a run of duds, right? Like Lady in the Water, The Happening. I still don't know how you fuck up Avatar: The Last Airbender, but he fucked that shit up to the point where people are like, why were they saying Avatar? Like, why can't they just say Avatar?
I don't know. But don't forget
Earth.
After Earth.
After Earth. Trying to think what else. The Visit. People like The Visit. I'm like, no, that's a dumbass movie too.
I still have never seen The Visit. Like, I have no desire to see The Visit.
It's a dumbass movie too.
And what's the one with, like, I know he only produced this, and like whenever they say produced by M. Night, I'm always like, yeah, produced, right? He had a major hand in that shit. What was the one with the elevator?
The Devil. And then The Watchers just came and went. That was from his daughter.
Right, which he had a major hand in.
That Apple TV show, I've never seen a second of.
People seem to really like that, like, servant show. I mean, it's been on for like 5 seasons.
So that, and then and now Trap, and I'm just like,
Trap, and like the trailer for Trap looks really good, but I know he's gonna fuck it up. I know it's gonna be some dumb twist, right? Or it's like the dialogue's gonna be wonky. Because, like, he's never been good with dialogue.
No, and you know what? The dialogue in Signs is also very stilted, but it has a charm to it. That's the thing. Like, even in his best movies, there's a certain, as bad as the dialogue is, there's a certain charm to it where it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like old school Hollywood, if that makes sense.
And that is fine. I'll give that a pass if the rest of the movie is good. Right? But if the movie is bad, then the dialogue is even more noticeable.
Oh yeah, like in The Happening, where the soldier, he just goes, cheese and crackers.
And like, The Happening is still one of the most hilarious movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, unintentionally.
Fucking, like 2 hours of Marky Mark running from the wind.
I also found out that The Happening was originally titled The Green Effect. And he tried to sell that to studios and nobody wanted it. So what he did is he took all the studio notes that were given to him and rewrote the script from the studio notes that were given to him and called it The Happening. And I'm just like, my man, nobody takes studio notes seriously. Nobody.
And like, but how bad were these studio notes, right? Like, now I kind of want to watch. Like, I want to read the original script.
Yeah, the Green Effect, because I have a feeling it's probably better.
I don't. I mean, yeah. I mean, but what if this is the one time that the studio notes actually made the fucking movie better? What if this is the one time?
That's a travesty, because The Happening's a piece of shit. But like, yeah, back to Signs. It's wild that this movie costs $70 million when it takes place mostly on this fucking farm. I was just like, how did this cost this much money?
Fun fact, the pharmacy that's used in Signs is the pharmacy that is 5 minutes away from my house over in PA.
Oh yeah, they filmed a lot of it in Bucks County. Bucks County's right over the bridge.
Yeah.
Like, they filmed it in Mooresville and a couple other places. Like, the entire movie's in Bucks County. I mean, that's where it takes place too. But
Right.
yeah, fuck, man, M Night, man, this shit. I was watching this shit, and I'm just like, God damn, bro,
It used to be beautiful.
like, yo, to do the Sixth Sense, and then to do Unbreakable, and then to do Signs, and then to do The Village. I'm like, that's a hell of a run. My only problem with this movie, besides the length, because I do think it's a little too long. My only problem with this,
2:15.
it's a little over 2.
Yeah.
My only problem is the opening credits are just insane, because the credits match the music, and the music sounds like it's from The Wizard of Oz. Like, don't get me wrong, the score is fire, but those opening credits are are ridiculous.
I can't remember what the opening credits are. Now I'm going to watch Signs.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
All
Yeah,
right.
that doo-doo-doo, and then once it gets real dramatic, like dun dun dun, like the titles just fly on the fucking screen and shit, and I'm just like, night, like, this is corny. Shit is corny as fuck. Yo, Meryl Hess was originally supposed to be played by Mark Ruffalo, but Mark Ruffalo got sick. So the week before shooting, Joaquin stepped in, and Meryl Hess was originally supposed to be played by an older actor. Paul Newman was the first person M. Night asked, and he's just straight up said no, because he's like, I'm not doing this fucking genre shit. His words.
Honestly, Paul Newman and Mark Ruffalo, I kind of want to see that movie.
Would have been dope. And I'm just like, yo, Paul Newman, like, R.I.P. He's a legend, but also get your head out your ass. And then the next person he approached was Clint Eastwood, and Clint was going to do it, and then some other shit popped up, and he couldn't get out of it. So,
man, yeah, even Clint Eastwood.
Because it's wild. Because you think about Clint Eastwood now, I'm like, damn, how? That's why I want to ask Mel Gibson. I'm like, yo, what was it like working with M. Night? Because I know he's Indian. I know you a little racist.
You don't like brown people.
Yeah, man. Same thing with Clint. I'd be like, so. If Clint made it, I'd be like, yo, so how was it working with M. Night? Because I know you are also a little racist.
Just a little bit, un poquito.
Yeah,
racist.
Yeah, I know the only black person you like is Morgan Freeman, but you know.
Well, and for Mel Gibson, Danny Glover.
Yeah.
He's like he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
He's one of the good ones.
But yeah, Signs, man. I hope, since Disney struck a deal with Sony for putting their shit out, I really hope Sony goes to the Disney vault and gets Unbreakable's already in 4K. I got the Steelbook 4K for that, but we need Sixth Sense in 4K. I need Signs in 4K, and I need The Village in 4K. And those are the only M. Night movies I really want to own, because I already own Split in 4K. There is no part 3 for that trilogy, y'all. Fucking goddamn garbage. All right, next, I went to go see Kinds of Kindness again with my brother. The theater was what I love is going on a Sunday afternoon in the middle of summer blockbuster movie season, and this theater is packed. I love that shit, where I'm going to a multiplex that is showing fucking Despicable Me 4, the newest garbage from Illumination, because they're a garbage ass company. Outside of Despicable Me 1, what else have they made that was good?
I mean, I haven't even seen Despicable Me 1, so I can't even talk to that. But like, I don't even know what else Illumination's put out.
The Grinch, which is not good. They added a whole subplot with a fucking ox.
Sure. Okay. It's fine.
What else? They did The Secret Life of Pets.
Haven't seen that shit.
Migration.
Honestly, Despicable Me 4 is the only Illumination film I've ever seen.
I would tell people, watch Despicable Me 1, and that is the only time you'll get a good Illumination movie. Like, I know they did Super Mario, you know what I'm saying? And even that was not good.
That's heart garbage.
Like, anyways, I just find it funny that the theater was packed and all these people are seeing Despicable Me 4, and I'm going in seeing Kinds of Kindness, the most anti-multiplex movie possible in a crowded theater. And I knew how this was going to go over. Watching this again, I could feel the audience squirming. And it's hilarious because me and my brother were the only people laughing during this movie. Because honestly, just like Poor Things, I laughed harder the second time just because I was just like, I get it now. Like the absurd black dark humor in this movie is hilarious.
And also you have to think about when we first saw it, we saw it, with a bunch of, guild people, reviewers in New York City, right? The second time you watched it in the middle of fucking New Jersey, which is still Jersey, and this movie is real gay at times. Like
I wouldn't say it's gay. That's not Challengers. Challengers is real gay at points.
But like this is like the stuff, that first vignette, it's more homosexual leaning, like more, or at least I can understand how it would make middle America, like central New Jersey, uncomfortable to see these men being this close to one another.
It was more where we live. It was more the content and the way it's presented that really put people off. I do like the shot of Jesse Plemons standing at his floor-to-ceiling window office, because that shot, some old dude went, "Whoa!" And I couldn't help but to laugh. I'm like, nigga, that is any other office. Like, if you're an executive in that's a normal executive office.
Like I said, middle central New Jersey. Most of these motherfuckers have never even been in a high rise.
Yeah. So on a rewatch, the second story is so much better and so much funnier. I like the second one a lot. Like the first one's still my favorite, and then I really like the second one. And on a rewatch, I really hate the third one. Like the third one just. Like the only time I laughed during the third one was at the end, because I was just like, yeah, that's a ridiculous note to end on with that bitch flying through the window.
Well, I like the third one a lot, except for the rape.
Yeah, nah, that's what. Even walking out, people hated it. Like, let's be real, people hated it, because I'm like, yeah, because it's it is right, it is what it is. But it's not Poor Things, and Poor Things is already pushing the boundaries.
Right.
But yeah, hearing people talk about it on their way out, that is the point in the third story that people are just like, yeah, fuck this movie. I think a lot of that shit just turned almost everybody off. And I'm just like, yeah, because it turned me off. And I hated it even more the second time. Like, I just don't like that third story at all.
Yeah, I like the third story besides that.
Nah, I fucking...
because I love cult shit.
I can't fuck with that shit.
I love motherfuckers who join a cult or start a cult.
But anyways, yeah, definitely liked it more the second time. The second story is elevated. This third story is lowered. But yeah, man, I wish every summer I had a movie like this where I could just go see something weird while some new garbage is playing in the screen next to me.
Right.
Some whatever Illumination garbage is playing. Fucking Illumination. They're gonna ride that. Yo, I guess we're gonna get 10 fucking more Minions movies. So
yeah, I mean, because they're fucking cheap to make. I mean, at this point, AI is writing the script.
All right, well, shit. Let's move on. Don't Look Now is streaming on the Criterion Channel. This is a Nicholas Roeg movie I've always meant to watch. I know people love this movie, and I just think it's okay. R.I.P. Donald Sutherland, one of our greatest actors. He died. He's the star of this. This movie's all right. Like, I'm not too crazy about it. I think the editing is great, and the colors are great. The use of colors are great, but like, this shit's stupid. Honestly, this shit's real stupid. It's a psychological horror movie. It's fucking stupid. Honestly,
I've never seen it, so
like, I know this is influential for a lot of people, but like,
yeah.
rewatched Independence Day, and yo, man, we used to make proper blockbusters, like proper. And it's wild how this came out in 1996 and the effects are still better than a lot of the shit that's coming out today. Like, this makes Argyle look fucking pathetic.
This is what happens when you just build miniature shit.
Yeah.
Like, and blow it up. Just like do the work.
Like, even the CG, I'm like, yo, I don't understand how this shit looks better.
Yeah.
That's fucking sad. Damn, man, this movie, god damn. Too bad it never got a sequel. But yeah, this movie, prime example of why blockbusters in the 90s fucking ruled. But yeah, I wish we got a sequel to that. Too bad.
Yeah, no.
Too bad.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice.
All right, let's move into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right, let's start with Red One. This looks like a Netflix movie that went way over budget. This shit looks terrible, and they want this. I just found out they want this shit to be a franchise, and I'm like, not with the way The Rock's acting, and put this movie over budget.
Yeah, why don't we just put AI John Cena on top of him? And
yeah, because I don't think John Cena will be going around being late or pissing into bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, so Red One is there.
It looks fucking terrible.
It looks CG'd up the ass. And like, here's the thing. The story has the potential to be fun, right? It does. But Netflix is going to fuck it up. The Rock.
Oh, this is an Amazon movie.
Oh, this is Amazon? I keep on thinking it's Netflix.
Yeah, because this was supposed to be a Prime Video movie, right. And then because of The Rock, and the budget just ballooned so much where they're just like, well, fuck, we got to put this shit in theaters now.
He got paid $50 for this, right?
I don't know how much he got paid for, but the budget went from like $150 to like $300. And I'm like, how does it go from $150 to $300 because of one person?
It's not going to make its money back.
No.
Never.
No,
never,
man,
ever.
like I this trailer dropped and everybody and their mom was clowning it. And also, what the fuck, Chris Evans? Like, you retired from playing Captain America, immediately do Knives Out. And then after Knives Out, you've just done nothing but dog shit since. Like The Gray Man, Ghosted.
I still have not seen Ghosted. I refuse to watch Ghosted, actually.
There's something else he's done too, where I'm just like, oh, Pain Hustlers, where I'm just like, damn, bro, you've done nothing but trash.
What was Pain Hustlers?
Yeah, see, that shit came and went. That came out last November. It was directed by David Yates. Has Emily Blunt and him as pharmaceutical people.
Oh, word?
It was a Netflix movie, and apparently it was a piece of shit.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, you need to start picking better roles. Either pick better roles or just maybe retire. One of the two.
And like, he's making casting choices like he wasn't just Captain America, right? Like, these are the roles he picked in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah. Like, honestly, if you'd swap all these movies out and put like Dwayne in them, I'd be like, well, yeah, that's par for the course.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of Dwayne, apparently he told his agent that he wants it in his contract that he can never lose a fight in a movie.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
That was real? I thought that was a meme. That's real?
No, it's real. And I'm just like, yeah, well, I was like, so yeah, you and Vin Diesel are the same fucking person. No wonder y'all don't like each other. Because Vin also has that in his contract too. And I'm just like, no wonder you guys make the most boring, turgid shit.
Okay. Cool.
Yo, listen, if this MMA movie he's doing with Benny Safdie is not good, Like it's basically a wrap.
Right. Like his career is now in the coasting stage, right? Like the engine has it's out of fuel, they're on fire, he's just coasting right now. And it's slowly descending to earth.
This shit is this is shameful, honestly. I would be if I was the director of this, I'd just be like, yo, just credit it to Alan Smithy, man.
Look, but like I don't know who the director is, but like
well, that's what Google's for.
So sometimes you got to get on, man. Like if you got a chance to direct a $300 million film starring The Rock and Chris Evans, of course you're gonna take that shit.
Nah,
I don't blame the director. I don't blame the director.
Nah, I'm good. Oh, Jake Kasdan. I was like, God damn, another Kasdan. Another Kasdan.
All right, well, he was gonna be all right no matter what. So like, he's already a nepo. So okay.
Yeah, man, this movie
So
it looks like fucking goddamn garbage. All right, let's move on to Smile 2, a trailer that it dropped. I watched it, liked it, and now like I'm tired of seeing it because they play it in front of every goddamn movie.
Yeah, I like the trailer. It wasn't as affecting to me as the first trailer for the first movie was. Like that one actually creeped me out. I think because I know what I'm in for. You know, like I know the rules of everything. The trailer for the second one wasn't as scary to me, but it looks good. It really does. It looks really good.
I think this trailer looked better than the first movie, honestly. Like it grabbed me more. There's shots in this shit where I'm like, yo, that looks insane. I'm very interested to see this. I know this director has something else. Like he just got there's a bidding war for a movie that he's getting ready to do with a big star. I can't remember, but like this dude, Parker Finn, shout out to him. Like seriously, shout out to him cuz Possession. He's going to remake Possession with Robert Pattinson and there's a whole bidding war for it.
Okay.
So, I'm glad he's moving away from Smile. Like I if he wants to do a third one, make a couple of movies and then come back. Like that's the one thing I tell people about sequels. I'm like, yeah, make your second one first off good, but also as quickly as possible so that way it's
in there. It's in the bank.
It's how do you say that word?
Satiated.
Yeah, satiates people.
Right.
And keeps them well fed, and then you could take your time with part 3. Just don't take too long. Like don't make this like a fucking Sherlock Holmes type deal or Jumanji type deal. Because I don't think Jumanji's happening, quite honestly.
I haven't seen the first 2 reboots.
Yeah, the first one was good, and then the second one was the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah. So
yeah, Smile 2. Like shout out to Naomi Scott. Glad to see her working. I'm always glad to see her working. I hope you're Princess Jasmine again. I hope fucking Guy Ritchie goes back. He keeps promising Aladdin 2. And I know fucking Disney's like, yo, listen, we need another $1 billion, so hurry up with that shit. So, moving on.
F1?
Yeah, F1. I talked about this movie with Joseph Kosinski during that Top Gun Guild screening where everybody stuck around and talked because we talked about IMAX and shit.
Right.
And here he shot this movie. He specifically told me, he's like, yeah, there's a camera I'm going to use on my racing movie that I'm getting ready to start shooting. And I'm shooting because I asked him, like, you know, you and IMAX are like synonymous because like ever since Tron, every single movie he's made has been formatted for IMAX. So as I asked him, I'm like, you know, now that Denny has cracked the code for doing full IMAX with digital cameras, would he do it? And he's like, yeah, I'm looking at these cameras I'm probably going to use on my racing movie that's shooting in a aspect ratio that is taller than 1:43. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, it's like 166. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah. He's like, there's certain things I want to do that I think are going to blow people away with the aspect ratio. And I was like, all right, sold. And then I watched this trailer and I am just so fucking amazed that he's doing pans while the cars are racing. I'm like, how the fuck is he doing pans while the cars are racing? I've never seen some shit like that.
And like not digital, right? This is in camera pans.
Yeah, like the camera is panning from one car to the next while racing.
Yeah.
On a car. Like the camera's clearly mounted on a car and it's panning from one car to the next. And it does that a couple of times in the trailer. I'm just like, that's insane.
Right.
That's fucking insane.
So you really can't explain this trailer. You actually have to experience it. You just have to watch it.
It's a teaser. It is a teaser.
You have to watch it.
Look, when they I remember he said like Apple's producing it and it's coming to theaters. And they secured a distributor real quick because WB just announced 2 weeks ago. They're like, yeah, we picked it up. Coming out June 25th, 2025. I was like, shit, that is fast. I was like, damn, y'all really. And they dropped the trailer on Sunday because Sunday at 10 a.m. was the final Formula One race of the season. Lewis Hamilton won again. I was like, love to see my black men win. Because, Formula One is huge.
Yeah, no, it's everything else is bigger in the world than it is here, right? Soccer is bigger, F1 is bigger. Like we have sports here that just says they seem like they're designed just to say fuck you to Europe.
Right.
You know?
Cuz listen, I ain't going to lie, like football is a hardcore sport. But it ain't shit compared to like F1
rugby.
Racing
or rugby.
Yeah,
right.
Like between this and Gran Turismo, I'm like, motherfuckers are pushing their bodies to the extreme. Like they have to run 10 miles in 10 seconds just to build their bodies up. They have to be used to G forces because they're going that fast. I'm like, how do you go that fast in a car that you're experiencing G forces? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
G-forces is what you experience when you're in like a fucking rocket.
Yeah, I mean they're going fast as fuck, Yo,
the fucking flames coming out of the fucking engine in the trailer. I'm like, you.
Yeah, no, like you have to watch this trailer.
This movie looks fucking hard. Jeff, I'll make sure you get a screening.
All right.
But me personally,
yeah.
I'm making sure I'm getting my black ass into an IMAX screening at the 8-story IMAX. So no promises on that for you, but for me, I'm a kill a bitch for that shit.
Fair enough, man. Fair
also,
enough.
Good to see Carrie Condon working, man. She's a great actress. Like her and Samantha Morton should be working more. And I just say her as well, just because they look like they could be sisters.
They look like the same, right?
Yeah, they could be sisters. Honestly, I'm surprised nobody thought to cast them as sisters. But I'm glad to see Carrie Condon working. Honestly, that opening line's hard too. He's like, Ferrari and Mercedes, they have speed, and we have to make sure we're in it on the turns. I need you to build a car for combat. I'm like, that's fucking hard. That's fucking hard. And Damon Idris is in this too, so it'll be my first time seeing him in anything because I've never watched Snowfall. I just know him from seeing the previews for Snowfall. Is all.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
Okay, all right.
Like Snowfall is good. I haven't gone past the second season, but he's great.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's good. He's
real good. Him and Brad Pitt, man. I mean, them ladies gonna be wet. Because I know ladies are thirsty for Damon Idris too. They're like, he's a fine looking man. I'm like, all right, man. Like, I can't speak on that. I can't speak on him in general just because I haven't seen him in anything other than previews for Snowfall. So I'm glad that I get to see him in a major blockbuster because this shit costs money. Like this shit costs $300 million.
But this is something I can see costing $300 million, right? Like this is a $300 million movie.
Well, just on the innovations he's doing alone, like I don't know, like to do pans, in-camera pans, on a car that is racing. That probably took a lot. Not only did that take a lot of time, but probably a lot of money. And he's shooting on new cameras that can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this movie, $300 million. Yeah, I get it. Red won $300 million. I don't get it.
I was just like the Joker, just fucking set money on fire. Oh, all right. And then the final trailer I'm going to talk about is Gladiator II. Fucking just dropped.
When did it drop?
It dropped 2 hours ago.
Shit.
Excuse me, 3 hours ago.
Oh shit.
Look, nigga, this shit looks so much bigger than the first one, which is saying something because the first one's already a big movie.
Right.
Everybody in this movie looks to be a scumbag except for Paul Mescal and Connie Nielsen. Denzel's basically using Paul Mescal to take over Rome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's like, yo, listen, I bought you. You work for me. You got a lot of hate in your heart. I want to take you to the top, but I also want you to help me take down Rome. He's like, what? And there's a part in the trailer. He's like, what can I do that can make you happy? That can satisfy your bloodlust for revenge? He's like, all of Rome. He's like, I don't know if I could do that. And he goes, well, the general. And he's like, I could do that. I was like, God damn, everybody in this motherfucker is ruthless. Joseph Quinn is in this too, looking like a true fuckboy.
Joseph Quinn. Who's that? I don't know.
We just talked about him last episode. Quiet Place.
Oh shit.
He's in the trailer, and I'm like, damn, you look like a fuckboy.
That motherfucker's a chameleon. That motherfucker's a true chameleon.
When you see him, you're gonna be like, that's him? Holy shit. Pedro Pascal looks like a scumbag. Like, everybody in this is a scumbag except for Paul Mescal. Like, even Denzel's a scumbag. He looked like a pimp.
With the
he looked like a pimp. I've seen the pictures. Smack.
I've seen the pictures with the earring. You know Denzel is a bad guy whenever his character has an earring.
Nigga, there's a part in the trailer where they fill the Coliseum up with water and have these niggas fight on boats, and somebody falls off a boat, and you know what happens?
Shark.
Yep.
Shark.
Yo, this nigga, they have a gladiator fight where a nigga's riding a rhino, and Paul Mescal has to fight this nigga and the rhino. I was just like, yo, y'all went way too hard, but I get it, because like the first one was huge.
You have to, like, because
we've been waiting. You have to go bigger.
We were waiting what, like 25 years for this fucking sequel,
and so many weird ass scripts since then. Russell Crowe's salty about this.
Well, I mean, why?
He's like, I feel betrayed, and I'm just like, well, first off, your character died. Number one. Number two, you are nowhere near the shape you need to be in.
Right. Like
to come back. My God. Like, you had plenty of chances to get into shape, and you just haven't. You've gotten honestly physically worse.
We've all seen what the fucking Russell Crowe Hamburglar version looks like now, right? This motherfucker has entered his pop stage, right?
Yeah. November 22nd, and they made it clear it's dropping in every format possible except for 3D. So it's dropping in Screen X, 4DX, Dolby, IMAX, any format your heart desires. November 22nd.
I want all of that money.
Yeah, because it looks expensive. It looks expensive, and I know some people who work in the industry that have seen it. They saw it with a bunch of studio executives.
Yeah.
Studio executives, they've been screening their movie because, it's a dire time, and they just want to know what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And Paramount was gracious enough to call everybody around town who's important, and they screened Gladiator II for them, and everybody walked out. There's apparently a rival studio had walked out and was just like, fuck.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So apparently that studio head said that there's only 4 movies he saw this year that he would nominate for Best Picture, which is he said Gladiator 2, Here, which I'm going to talk about next.
Yeah.
Possibly Challengers, and then he said, honestly, the best movie I've seen all year is still Dune Part 2. And I was just like, oh, fuck, all right. But the fact that he's saying Here and Gladiator are probably going to be nominated for Best Picture, I'm like, all right. It's like, all right.
God damn.
All right, so speaking of, let's move into our last trailer, which is Robert Zemeckis' Here. It's based off a graphic novel about one room over the course of years, and the trailer basically makes that. It's a Forrest Gump reunion because it's Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks, and Robin Wright, and it's showing like this one space over the period of time, and you see them. It's using that Robert Zemeckis technology where he's aging people up and down and making them look different, and it looks very dynamic. And they said, I've heard that it's a very emotional movie. It looks pretty fucking crazy to have a whole movie take place in one room over the course of years.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some like stills from it a couple of weeks ago, and we're at that uncanny valley. Like Robert Zemeckis has always been that uncanny valley bullshit, like making motherfuckers look creepy. But maybe maybe he's cracked the code for this one.
Listen, I just want, before I die, me personally, I would like to see a new Robert Zemeckis movie that is good, because every Robert Zemeckis movie I've seen has been before me, before I could go to the movies and see a movie in theaters.
Right. I mean, look, Forrest Gump, classic.
Back to the Future,
classic.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit,
classic. But then you have his,
mocap,
the mocap shit, the fucking Beowulfs,
and then once he stopped doing that shit, I thought Flight was gonna be good, and Flight was just dumb.
I've never seen Flight.
And then he did Welcome to Marwen, which is just ill-advised on every level.
So like Welcome to Marwen is based on a documentary. Right? And the documentary and the documentary is so much better.
Yes, because Welcome to Marwen is just that is front to back a terrible fucking movie. Like, there's choices made in that where you're just like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking?
Just watch the documentary.
Look, I'm rooting for you, Robert Zemeckis. Really, I am. And I hope this shit is good. With that said, now that we have rebooted this shit, when it comes time for The Flash, James Gunn, hire Robert Zemeckis, because Robert Zemeckis has been stating ever since he's made Back to the Future, I want to make a Flash movie. Tom Hanks has even said, he's like, yo, if Robert Zemeckis makes the Flash movie, I'm going to be in it as an older version of the Flash. He's like, I don't care if I'm an old Barry Allen or old Jay Garrick. And I'm like, you should probably be Jay Garrick, honestly.
Right. I would be there for that, honestly.
Yeah, because the fact that those two still want to do a Flash movie, I'm just like, James Gunn, call those niggas right now.
And like, do it sooner rather than later, right? Because time keeps marching forward.
Look, I want to say this. No disrespect to Andy Muschietti, but Robert Zemeckis is Robert Zemeckis, and his version of the Flash, even if it's not good, it'll probably still be a lot cooler than what we got.
Yeah.
Especially because those two love the character, so. Yeah, breaks your heart, right? Just breaks your heart. Like every easy money, both creatively and financially, where you could just have a alley-oop Michael Jordan dunk, and y'all just fucking keep hitting the rim on dumb shit.
Oh, Ezra.
But anyways, the fact that people are talking about this and said it's good, I hope the early word's right. Listen, I'm always rooting for Robert Zemeckis. Let me make that clear. All right, always rooting for him.
I very few people do I want to fail. Right? Right? And Robert Zemeckis is not one of those people.
Yeah. Look, my man made two of my favorite movies of all time. Actually, 3, because I love Back to the Future Part 2 as well. Like, he's made 3 of my favorite movies of all time, and that's not for nothing. He's made some great movies. Like,
Yeah.
Allied, I'd honestly, like, real quick before we move on, like, I'm gonna look up his filmography, because, like, Allied I didn't think was good either, to be quite honest with you.
Like, what was Allied? I can't remember that one.
Allied was the one where Marion Cotillard and Brad Pitt were spies during World War II.
Oh, that was Robert Zemeckis?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I forgot he did Romancing the Stone and Used Cars.
Yo, he did use... All right, so my dream project, since I was like fucking 20 years old, is to remake Used Cars. That fucking movie, but I want to put Brad Pitt in there. I want to put Ving Rhames. I want to put Steve Buscemi, and I just want to go like balls to the fucking wall. I want Claire Filani in there, like as they are now. I want to do a remake of Used Cars.
She's a good actress she got
the
unjustly
raw
pushed. Yeah. But other Robert Zemeckis stuff. This is a great movie too. And I can't believe I forgot about this one. Death Becomes Her.
Death Becomes Her is fucking fantastic.
That was another movie that was pushing technology forward at the time. How did I forget this? I just watched this shit last year. Or maybe earlier this year. I know we talked about it recently. Contact.
Yo, Robert Zemeckis. All right. So what happened to him, man? That's that mocap shit. As soon as he got into that mocap shit started going downhill. But like...
Get this. The same fucking year, he puts out What Lies Beneath and Castaway.
Yo.
In the same fucking year. I think Castaway's okay, but that's still better than most people's best movie. But What Lies Beneath, I was like, my man made a Hitchcock movie, and it fucking rules. That movie fucking rules.
Like, What Lies Beneath, like, made that year an uptick in divorces. Right? Because right? Because like you ain't.
Let's not spoil it. Let's not. The less you know about that movie, the better. So let's not spoil it. But yeah, man, it's like once he did the Polar Express, that's when it all went downhill. Because he did Polar Express, then Beowulf, which I fucking hated, A Christmas Carol, which was just weird. Then he did Flight. Then he did The Walk. Then he did Allied. Then he did Welcome to Marwen. Then he did The Witches. And then Pinocchio. So he's just had how many of these? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stinkers in a row.
Right.
So I really do hope Here is good.
Yeah, but like, yeah, looking at his previous filmography, like...
Yeah, because I did see What Lies Beneath and Castaway in theaters. So I did get to see 2 good Robert Zemeckis movies.
God damn.
Yeah, that nigga.
Used Cars, man. Yo, how did I not know
that? He did
that?
1941 as well.
Oh shit, the Spielberg produced the World War II. Yo, that was a fucking... All right. Yeah, okay. If he's back on his like 80s, 90s shit.
Early 2000s too.
Early 2000s? Yeah. All right. If we just forget the last 9 movies, right? But the fact that we have 9 movies that we can say, like the dude's been working.
Yo, you know what? Beowulf just hit HBO Max. I might watch it again.
I watched it a couple of months ago.
Damn, yeah, still okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna revisit it because Beowulf was one of my favorite
stories
that I read in school because they made you read that shit in school, and you're just like, this shit, I love this shit. This shit rules. And then you go see the movie, and you're just like, dog, this is like a dumbass version of this story.
And like,
it just sucked from top to bottom.
And I get how they had to dumb it down and stuff like that. It really is the mocap. It really is.
I ain't like nothing about that motherfucker, be quite honest with you. That is my least favorite of his mocap movies, quite honestly.
It's so fucking creepy.
Remember when he was going to do Yellow Submarine that way too? And I was just
Yep.
like, who the fuck wants to see a photorealistic blue meanie? Like that movie's already terrifying. And don't get me wrong, I love Yellow Submarine, but that movie's fucking terrifying because it's so psychedelic and surreal.
Right.
Why the fuck would you want to do a photorealistic movie like that?
Because you can.
You ever see Yellow Submarine?
I was like a fucking 20 years ago.
Yeah. I fucking love that movie. But like, yeah. I'm not trying to see a live action version in any shape or form of that fucker. So
Yeah.
Oh, anyways.
All right, so here. All right.
Yeah. Look. Fingers and toes crossed, baby.
All right, like fucking, when Zemeckis is on his shit, he wins Oscars, right?
Listen. Take the past 9 movies out. Even then, he's still one of the greats because he's given us some fucking all-timers, baby. Like, undeniable all-timers.
Used Cars. I'm obsessed with that fucking movie.
Yo, I'm about to go watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit right now. Fuck that. I love that movie. I'm about to go watch that shit right now.
I might have a Robert Zemeckis fucking film festival this week. Woo. Marathon. Jesus.
All right. Let's move into the main review.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurts feature film review.
What are we going to start with?
We're going to start with motherfucking Kill. Kill is basically the Indian version of The Raid. And instead of it being in a high rise, it's on a motherfucking train. And it's just not as gnarly as The Raid is either.
Kill, like you showed me the trailer for Kill, and I was like, oh shit, this goes fucking hard. This blah blah blah. I'm excited to see this. You really have no idea how good Kill is until you're experienced. You don't watch Kill, you experience Kill.
Go see this motherfucker in a theater, dog.
Right,
and go with your friends because you're gonna have a good ass time.
Like half the fun of seeing this movie was like, and I'm mad that no one was like, there was only like 5 other people in the theater with us, but like hearing them all go, oh shit, right? Like at this is a communal movie, right? Like you need to see this loud, big, and with a bunch of fucking people. It is, India didn't have to go this hard.
One thing I love about the movie is the main characters get hurt.
Yes.
And they get hurt a lot. Like, we just talked about The Rock and Vin Diesel and how they have to win fights and they can't really get too hurt too badly.
Mm-hmm.
That's boring. That's why this movie's amazing. Because like these motherfuckers, they get captured, they get tortured, and yet somehow, somehow, some way, they're just like, all right, found my opening. I found my opening, and now y'all motherfuckers are dead.
This whole entire movie is fueled by pure fuck you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yo, listen, that's hate, baby. Like when you put hate in somebody's heart, they can do some shit.
Yo.
It got to the point where even the henchmen are just like, can we just leave? Like, y'all are going to get us killed. Like, can we just leave? And a couple of them do jump off the train, and you see their guts just go everywhere because the train's going too fast.
And like at a certain point, I started feeling sorry for the henchmen because you had no idea what you were coming into,
right?
And I don't want to ruin anything, but like the main character, like our hero, he becomes like a movie monster, right? Imagine if you were following Michael Myers, right? And like stalking motherfuckers. And like that's how at one point in this movie, and I'm not gonna ruin it for you, but like it's some real psychological warfare shit.
Like, let's be real. Like, he was going hard and fucking niggas up. And then it got to a point in the movie where it really the inciting incident happens like 40 minutes into the movie.
Right.
And once that happens, you see the switch turn on him And then the title card comes up.
Yeah,
and I was just like, okay.
Oh
I was
shit!
like, yo, y'all
like this
fucked
was
up.
the movie. This is when the movie began. All right, this is when the movie. Like this is when it starts.
Like as soon as the title card came up, I felt like Bill Duke from Menace to Society. I was like, yo, you know you done fucked up, right?
Right.
Like, you know you done fucked up.
And you could see it. You
Yeah.
could see it in his face. It was like, oh shit. This you're done. You're done.
It's so bad that even the dude who runs the gang, the old man, was like, why the fuck did you do that? Like,
Right.
there was no point for you doing that. Now look at us. Like, you fucked us, you dumbass. And that dude's just like, well, she wasn't going to give me no ass, so.
Right. It's like, oh, man. I cannot talk enough about Kill. Like, it is. And part of the part of the reason this movie is so affecting is because it's close combat.
Yeah.
Close quarters combat.
There's only guns used, 3 times. That's it. Otherwise, it's just knives and fists.
Right, and it's so claustrophobic, right? So it's knives and fists in maybe 6 to 8 feet of width,
Yeah.
right?
Once my man started hanging up the dead bodies of scarecrows in the train car, that's when I would have been like, yeah, look, y'all are on y'all own. Like, I'm out of here. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you would see me running down the train being like, yo, listen, I'm waving the white flag. Just beat the shit out me. Like, get your punches in and then keep it moving. Yo. So, Jeff, now that you see, by the way, this is the first Indian movie that is less than 2 hours. It's only like an hour 45 minutes.
It's less than 2 hours, and it's banned in India.
So, Jeff, now that you saw this, you're gonna finally watch RRR?
I watched RRR.
You did?
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, when did you watch RRR?
I don't know, fucking like a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
just got to talk about it.
Yo, I heard they doing a sequel to that motherfucker.
Good. Like I don't know how they're gonna do a sequel to this.
Yeah, because the dude, there's a nice Indian couple came up to us like, yeah, you guys know they're gonna do a sequel because they clearly saw we loved it, and they're
right.
You know they're gonna do a sequel. I was like, look, listen, I ain't against it.
Yeah, like I mean, they could do a sequel, like they could do a sequel to Monkey Man, but yeah, like this is top tier.
Yeah, nigga, like Dev, like, and I mean this as no offense to Dev, like Dev did his thing on Monkey Man, and I'm gonna watch it again because I do need to watch it again, but that is nothing
compared to
this motherfucker.
Right, this is what I wanted out of Bullet Train, honestly.
Yo, Bullet Train was some bullshit. Right. I don't know a single person that's like, yeah, I like that movie.
Yeah, nah.
Nobody likes that motherfucker.
Right. I enjoyed parts of it. I didn't enjoy the whole of it.
Yeah.
You know? Kill.
I hope every country gets their own version of the Raid. Like America, we need to do our own version of the Raid.
We kind of did though. We got Dread.
That don't count because that's more like that. It's no hand-to-hand combat.
Right. All right.
I need like, and I'm talking like OD ultra-violent hand-to-hand combat in one setting, close quarters, where it's one dude against an army.
Right.
Like,
okay.
Yo, Indonesia has the Raid. India has Kill. So now we just need more. I'm just asking, don't take it to Night Comes For Us levels because that took it to a level that did not need to be taken to.
Like halfway through The Night Comes For Us, I was actually the violence. I was so desensitized to it that it became exhausting.
Like I still think about the girl ripping off her finger that was being held on by skin.
Yeah.
By the way, the dude who did Night Comes For Us, he is directing Nobody 2.
Really?
Yeah. Coming next summer.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, yeah, we'll see what that does. Okay.
You look so disgusted.
Because like nobody was like a nice little came out of nowhere action movie, right? But it wasn't super gory,
Right.
right?
It was just
It
the
was
tracheotomy that was disgusting, and that's it.
right. But like the dude who did like The Night Comes for Us doing Nobody 2, I was like, I don't want to see this motherfucker gouging. I don't want to see nobody gouging eyes out, right?
Yeah, man. Like, not like, yo, look, I'm not. Me and Jeff, we don't hate Night Comes for Us. It's just night. There comes a time where you're just like, well, what is the point? And there really is no point to all that extreme violence. Like, it is extreme.
So like you know how comical that scene in Kill Bill with the crazy 88, right?
Yeah.
You know how comical that became in Kill Bill, right? So imagine a whole entire movie of that level of gore and violence, and that's The Night Comes for Us.
Yeah. Like, Night Comes for Us, man.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like it's a much.
Night Comes for Us makes Kill look like fucking Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But-
how fucking violent that movie is. And not for nothing, Kill is extremely fucking violent.
Yeah. Like, just heads just bouncing left and right off of just shit your head shouldn't be bouncing off of. Oh man.
Yo, man, let this be known. Like, you guys got to know to pick your battles. Like, there comes a certain point in time where you got to admit you lost.
That one, the one undercover spy dude, right? Like,
Yeah.
motherfucker, you just should have sat your ass down.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I like how he says it too. He's like, "Don't judge me by my physique. I'm really useful." And it's just like, no, nigga.
It's like, motherfucker, you need to sit down.
Yo, the Bruiser. When the old ladies teamed up and finally took down the Bruiser. Yo, because the Bruiser in this motherfucker, it got to a point where I'm just like, this nigga has to die.
Right.
Dog.
Like
he is
kill him. Don't try to knock him out. Kill him.
And the old ladies take him out. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Now they had to get like there's so many levels to this, right? Like, and we don't want to spoil anything for it, right? But like the first until that title card comes up, right? Our main character, he's actually trying to like preserve life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's just trying to knock motherfuckers out, right? But then the inciting incident happens in the title card and you get it.
By the way, this movie moves fast. Like, it gets you in immediately.
Yeah.
Like, immediately it just starts and keeps moving. But not to the detriment of the characters either, because they give you just enough to make you give a fuck. And the actors that are in this sell it. Like, I liked every actor in it because they embodied the character they were playing. And they're like, all right, I only have 5 minutes to sell this. I'm going to make sure I do my job well.
Like, I cared about everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this shit.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see this shit again.
Yeah, no, this is a rewatch. This is like the summer action movie. It really is.
Oh man. All right. Let's move into our main review. I can't really speak on it too much because for the first 45 minutes, some dickhead was on Facebook and Instagram just scrolling, and I go up to him at a certain point because I was tired of seeing this shit.
Right.
I say, "Hey, can you just put your fucking phone away?" And he goes,
Right.
"What?" He's like, "Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?" And he was getting ready to punch me in the face, and I was like, "Oh, word, really?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Really?" So I was like, "All right." I walk out.
Right.
I get a manager. Manager comes back in, and he's just like, "Yo, put your phone away." He's like, "I don't have to put." He's like, "Nah."
Like,
Bro,
you do.
Put your phone away. And he kept arguing with the dude. And finally the manager goes, "Bro, you see how many people are in here watching this movie? Everybody paid a lot of money to come here. Put your phone away." And he finally did. And you could tell he was in pain that he couldn't be on his phone. And when the movie was over, he slammed the armrest down and got up and walked out like he was a tough guy. I was like, you fucking little Napoleon ass nigga.
And like, here's the fucking thing.
I was like, it's always us too, Jeff. Always our people.
Of course it is.
Stay your
like,
ass in Trenton.
Like, you're not like, I don't have to put my phone away. It's like, yes, you fucking do.
If
right?
you want to be on Instagram and Facebook, then why the fuck did you pay $13.50 to come see a movie?
Right. Like, why are you spending that kind of money? Right. To like be on you at that point, you're just paying to be on Instagram and Facebook. And that sounds stupid to me.
You could do that shit at home from the comfort of your home. You don't even have to go anywhere.
Right.
Shit,
like,
go to a restaurant, get something to eat if you need to get out the fucking house.
It's just like, why do that? Why spend the money to go to a movie if you're not going to watch the movie?
Yeah. And he was clearly bored by it.
Then leave, motherfucker. Ask for a refund. They'll give you a fucking refund.
All right. Bad Boys 2 was playing right next door. You could have walked into that motherfucker.
Go to Bad Boys 2. Like, do fucking anything except for...
Yo, Jeff, again, this is why, as I said in the last episode, is why I'm pulling the ladder up behind me. Because, you know what? Fuck y'all niggas. Like, I'm not helping niggas no more.
Yeah, because ruin the shit for all of us. You know, like, makes us look bad. Makes us all look bad. But anyway, Maxxxine, out of the 3 in this trilogy, it's not the best, right? But it's still good. I enjoy it.
Right. From what I've seen, because I gotta have to see this fucking again. Right. This is what really pisses me off, is now I gotta make time to see this fucking shit again. From what I've seen, this is the second best for me in the series. Behind X. For me, it's Pearl,
X, and then this, right? Ty West has, like, he's gotten much better as a filmmaker over the last couple of years.
Because I do like The Innkeepers a lot, and I like his Western that he did.
Yeah, in the Valley of Violence. Yeah. But like, I was never impressed by Ty West, and like, before, I would say X.
Yeah, because House of the Devil is overrated.
What's the cult one he did?
House of the Devil, right?
No. The Jonestown one, the Sacrament or whatever like that.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Yeah. All right, so that's when I started liking Ty West. But before that, I thought he was overrated, and I actually hated him for his entry in the ABCs of Death because it was lazy. For Maxxxine, he totally embodies that 80s vibe.
Yes.
It felt like, if you watch like the George C. Scott movie Hardcore, it felt like shades of Hardcore, shades of fucking Cruising, right? Like all those nitty gritty 80s erotic, underworld thrillers. Yeah, felt like that. There's no Pearl moment in here where Mia Goth shows her range, really. Like, there's no that monologue at the end of Pearl, like that 10 minutes where it's just her on the camera. There's no moment like that in this movie, even though we have shades of her acting chops in the first 5 minutes when she's in the audition.
Yeah, that shit was amazing.
Yeah, that was good, but like, there's no Pearl moment in this,
which I'm fine with, to be quite honest with you.
It's like I said, this is all right. I love how
Kevin liked it.
Like, I love how Kevin Bacon is now in his full villain era.
Oh yeah, he plays nothing but bad guys. That's the one thing I was scared about going into this. I was like, all right, so if Kevin Bacon's in this and Giancarlo's in this, like, who's gonna play Bobby Cannavale, I'm like, is it going to be 3 fucking bad guys?
Right, like, who's playing the bad guy? Yeah.
Thankfully, Bobby Cannavale is just an asshole cop, and Giancarlo is actually a good guy.
Yeah.
A seedy good guy, but he's a good guy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, even though the twist or the ending was sort of like, oh, okay.
I mean, they
That's
set
fine.
that shit up in X. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
They
guess
did
it's fine.
set that shit up in
It's
X.
fine. I will
Definitely see X before this. Like, you don't have to see Pearl in order to you don't have to see Pearl or X to enjoy Pearl, but you definitely have to see X to enjoy Maxxine.
Right, because like so the timeline is if you go by chronological order, you go Pearl, X, and then Maxxine, right?
Right.
Chronological order. Yeah.
Right, but I'd recommend you watch it in release order, which is X, Pearl, Maxxine.
Right. I will say that they did need a technical advisor for all those cocaine scenes because those were sloppy ass lines. But yeah, I'm fucking around, but like there's a lot of coke in here.
I mean, I wasn't surprised by that because she was snorting up so much coke in X.
Right. There is actually it's not nearly as gory as you would think it would be.
Yeah, X was probably the goriest one out of all of them, and then Pearl, and then this is the most, even though it is pretty fucking violent.
Right, like the type of violence here is extreme, but like the depiction of it isn't all that.
Yeah, and I'm not spoiling anything by saying this, but I knew Halsey wasn't gonna be in it much because they kept showing that one scene in the promotional materials that she was in. So I was like, oh, she's gonna die because that's the only scene she's in, and I was right.
Right. Yeah. Like she's technically the inciting incident, honestly.
Yeah. I thought they were going. I'm glad he didn't do some alternate history shit because for the longest time, I thought they were going to make the Night Stalker like the actual killer of this movie, and I don't like alternate history shit. The only time that's worked for me is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just because I didn't want to see a pregnant woman get murdered brutally.
Right. Yeah. So it was nice how they made it sort of like the stories are in conjunction, right? Like or concurrent.
They're parallel to each other.
Parallel. I'm not saying Pearl is bad. I liked it a lot. It's good, right? This whole entire trilogy is, pretty great compared to like what we get as horror fans. Right?
Yeah, man. Because horror sequels usually fucking blow. Let's be real.
And like this definitely is trying, and I love how every movie is a different genre, like with like subgenre within the horror realm.
Yes. I think it's wild to me that this X trilogy is much better than Halloween. Like Halloween only has one good sequel, and that is the very first one. So it's Halloween and then the 2018 Halloween. That's wild. Where I was just like, damn, this is this is probably the best slasher trilogy ever.
Yeah, no, and it really works. And Mia Goth is she's gonna win an Oscar one day. She's a fantastic actress.
Yes, she is. Because I remember seeing her, and what was the name of it? A Cure for Wellness, and just being like, oh, this is a good actress. Because that was the first time I've ever seen her in anything.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I really have to say without giving away too much. It's like if you like this trilogy, you're gonna like this. It's a worthy entry. It's just not the best, right?
Scorsese has come out and professed his love for this.
Yeah, well,
he says the whole entire trilogy is amazing. He loves it, and I was just like, damn, Scorsese's watching slasher films and loves it because the only one I heard him talk about was Pearl. And I was like, yeah, I get that. But then to read what he said recently, where he loves X and he loves this, I was like, damn. My man watches Slock just like the rest of us.
Yeah, look, entertainment's entertainment, man. Like, even though
I'm not trying to degrade this series. I'm really not, because I love it, and I'm probably gonna end up owning. I want like a trilogy box set for this.
Right.
That's why I haven't bought any of them yet, because I want that nice box set I could just slide right in instead of having to make space for 3 separate
steel boxes. Yeah. But this is it closes out nicely. It's a nice capper on this trilogy.
Yeah, I know Ty West said he does have some ideas for a fourth one.
I mean, if I could see that, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Right.
But like this, like for
as
the
long
Maxxxine
as it's strong, it just has to be strong. That's my thing. It has to be strong.
Yeah. So like going into this, it's not nearly as sexy as you would think, right? It's like there's not as you would think. There's so much nudity and shit like this since it takes place in porn. Really, not really.
X was more explicit.
X, on all aspects, X was more explicit than Maxxxine.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to the violence, the gore, the horror, and the nudity, X was more extreme. But this is for what it is. It's a well-constructed movie, right? It's like It's if you watched any of those 80s thrillers, this fits in there. Like if you told me this came out in 88, the
only slashers I fuck with are like the original Halloween, the 2018 Halloween, and then the very, very, very first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, but like it's not even like I don't even consider this as a slasher, right? This is more of a serial killer running.
But I mean, it is because people are getting stabbed the fuck up. It's a slasher.
Yeah, but it's a thriller though, right? Like it's more of a thriller than anything else.
I would say it is a slasher. This whole series is, I would say, a slasher. To various degrees. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's Maxxxine. If you like the series, you're gonna like this. It's just not the best, right? But it's great. It's a good way to end the series.
I gotta see it again, but like I said, from what I saw, I very much enjoyed it. I thought the shootout at the end was the perfect amount of ridiculous. That shit was ridiculous and perfectly. Like they knew it was totally tongue in cheek. Like they knew what they were doing there.
Yeah, this is 80s.
Yeah, man. Look, so far nothing this summer has disappointed me. Like everything's kind of played to my expectations.
Right. Like I get it. Like nothing. Like you didn't watch anything that was like, oh man, I was really hoping that was gonna be good. You knew what you were getting into. Like the watchers.
Basically this summer I was just like, all right, like I have yet to be disappointed. So like I'm hoping that continues with our next movie for next week. Because that's the one movie I'm looking forward to the most this summer, honestly.
Yeah. So let's keep this train rolling.
Yeah, man. And that is episode 126.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, aka He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.